Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to General Knowledge Lecture 3. In this lecture, first of all, we will recall our previous knowledge. In our last lecture, we have studied the unit The Sun, in which the topic was Cardinal Directions. So, directions are important to know the position of a place or a thing. It is very much important to know where the thing is. So, there are four cardinal directions which are called as north, south, east, and west. So, these directions are abbreviated as N for north, S for south, E for east, and W is for west. So, these are the four cardinal directions which are known to us. With the help of these directions, we can find a thing or a place. These directions can be guessed with the help of the sun. So, here's a very easy way to find out where all these directions are. If you stand facing the sun in the morning, east will be in your front and west will be behind you. Similarly, south will be at your right side and north will be at the left. So it is very easy way to find out all these four directions. So when you wake up in the morning, try to find out all these four directions. You know, girls, there is an instrument which is used for the identification of the direction. First of all, let me explain you the term instrument. What are measuring instruments? We have read it before that these are the machines which are used to measure different things. So a compass is an instrument which is used to measure all these four directions. Now come to a topic, formation of a shadow. As we all know that light is a form of energy and the sun is the main source of light. Rays of the light travels in straight lines. These lines are called rays. These rays travel in straight line from its source. If something obstructs light on its way, then it can't pass through it. The opaque object blocks the light, and the light cannot pass through the opaque objects. Thus, it forms the shadow. As you can see in this picture, there is a source of light which is a artificial source and which is the torch, and the shadow is formed opposite the direction of the light source. You have ever visited the garden in the morning time or in the afternoon? You have always noticed the shadow. So you might see your shadow sometimes small, sometimes bigger than you, or sometimes equal to you. So why does it happens? It happens because the direction of the shadow depends upon the direction of light and the axis and the angle of the light. The shadow is limited to the point where light cannot reach due to obstruction. So light is necessary for the formation of shadow. It is always formed on the opposite direction. Light is necessary for the formation of shadow, and shadow always formed on the opposite direction. The shape and the size of the shadow depends upon the direction and the angle of light. So, wherever the source is, its directions matter a lot. So, when the direction of the source is above the object, so what happened? The formation of the shadow will be smaller than the object. When it will be behind or near to the source, it would be somehow small or big. So, shadows are of very much importance. We can guess the time with the help of the shadow. So, here's a way that you can find the time with the help of the shadow. You can make a clock on the ground and put a pencil in the center. So, wherever the sun is, you can find out the time easily with the help of the shadow of the pencil. It is a simple experiment you can do at your homes. Try finding out the time with the help of this method. As we studied that the formation of the shadow depends upon the source of light. Shadow is long at the morning and in the evening. So in this picture you can see the sun and the tree. In the first picture you can see it's morning time. So the shadow of the tree is equal to the size of the tree. And at the noon time you can see the shadow smaller than in the evening, and the late afternoon you can see the shadow which is equal to the tree. Shadows are always short at the noon time. This is because the direction of the sun. So the sun is the main source of light. So in the noon time the shadow is smaller because the sun is very much above your head. So the shadow is smaller. Okay girls, that's for today. Now come towards the copy work. In your copies on page number 8, write down chapter number and chapter name. So chapter number 1 is the sun. Then you have to double underline the headings. Make sure you have to write the heading in capital formation. On page number 9, give the heading of question answers on the top of the line. Then double underline the headings. Give the heading of question number 1 too. Double underline both of the heading and give the headings in capital formation. Then write down question number 1, which is how is shadow formed? Okay girls, in this question we will tell about the shadow and its formation. I hope that you know the answer. Then the next step is to give the heading of shadow and make sure you have double underlined it. It makes your work look very neat and tidy. Give the heading in capital formation. So let's discuss this question, that how is shadow formed? So girls, as I've told you that a shadow is made when an object blocks the light. So light travels in straight lines. So if it is blocked by the object, there must be a shadow formed. In this picture, you can clearly see a man is standing against a source of light and the shadow is formed behind the man. And the shadow is always at the opposite direction of the light source. So girls, write down answer before the red margin line and give the answer, and the answer is shadow is formed when an opaque object blocks light. It is your answer. You must have to start the answer by giving two finger gaps and from the next line to the heading. Okay girls, after completing the answer, you have to draw the ending line. You have to do your work very neat and tidy, and you have to follow all the instructions properly. Make sure to draw the margin lines on each of the page and mention page number on the top of the page. That's all for today. Now come towards the homework. So, what is your homework? Your homework is to learn this question of chapter 1. Thank you so much, girls. Allah Hafiz.